First of all, I'm a beekeeper myself. Then I used to be president of Slovenian beekeepers for 10 years. I've been also a member of the working group for bees in the European Parliament, and I'm a member of the environmental committee. So I was also vice coordinator of the committee on pesticides. So I would say that I met bees many times in this and previous two mandates. I would say that the awareness about the relevance of bees and the problems related to them is growing in this parliament, and I'm pleased that we MEPs, we insisted to get more clarity as far as glyphosate is concerned. I'm pleased that my country, Slovenia, was the first to ban neonicotinoids. I tried to do my best in fight against neonicotinoids or pesticides based on that. So I was not pleased by all decisions, but I would say that the bees are more in the focus, as this was the fact before, and I think that also common agricultural policy has to be attentive to the bees, to the pollinators in general. And I would say also that I was rapporteur for pollinators. In this report we asked European politicians, policymakers to do much more in order to be attentive to pollinators, as this was the fact before. So I think that there were many opportunities to express or to show our commitment for the bees. This was the last committee which was established in the European Parliament, but it was very important. The reason to establish it was the fact that WHO had different opinion about the possible cancerogenity of glyphosate than EFSA. So I'm pleased that MEPs insisted to see what is the basis for this difference, and first of all, what is true, whether glyphosate is likely cancerogen or is not, no? Because we had two different opinions, and one of the results of our work is that the resolution of the European Parliament was very clear that research works done on pesticides and their relation with cancer have to be accessible for the public. So this will not be any more business secret, so there will be more transparency, and I think that this is one of better results we achieved in our struggle. I think that common agricultural policy should be more and more attentive to the quality of food, which depends on pollinators, of course. In recent years we spoke a lot about the sustainability and also about the food safety, but food safety was considered as in quantitative terms, that this meant enough food, I would say. But now the focus is more on healthy food, on high quality food, and this is also important for smaller farmers or medium-sized farmers in the European Union, because smaller farmers are closer, or their care for healthy products is easier than in big farmers, you know. And I'm coming from a country where we have very few small farmers like in France or Germany or Italy, and we have to be attentive also to smaller farmers, no? So I suppose that, or I expect, and I will fight for that, that the reform of CAP will lead to more attention to the quality food, food of high quality, and this again, we can do this only if we are attentive to the bees. Now, you know, the bee dying is still a fact in the European Union, in the United States and elsewhere, so we have to do many measures. We have to organize many stakeholders to fight at the same front. We cannot focus only to the bees themselves, varroa and other problems. We have to deal with the environment in which the bees are active or are living. So, and I do hope that also when we fight for biodiversity, of course, again, we see the bees are part of it, and I do hope that measures related to preservation of biodiversity will be also focused on the bees, or all, yeah, to the bees. We also know that one bee can be killed by one single molecule, no, of poison. No? So, and the bees are definitely a very good indicator how is with our environment, and the bees suffer if the environment is polluted. They get weakened immunity if the environment is polluted, and so on. So I'm pleased by this decision, and I'm pleased that pollinator index will be important element in CAP. I think that a united or unified approach is needed, and I don't like that in one country neonicotinoids are banned and in the other country are not. The bees don't know borders, and it is important that we raise our awareness, our knowledge about neonicotinoids, and I think it's very serious issue. And if science in one member state finds out that neonicotinoids are damaging, are danger for the bees, there is no need to do additional research work in other member states. So this was the situation with Slovenia, but then also with France and so on. So it is clear that those substances are poisonous, are not good for the bees, and if they are dangerous for the bees, they are also dangerous for the people. Bees, I would say, not only in Slovenia, are not only an element of the nature. In my country, bees are part of our identity. Slovenia is a special country in this regard because we even developed a special kind of art. We painted, or our predecessors 200 years ago began to paint beehives, front panels with paintings. No? If I may, I would like to mention also, because I am coming from Slovenia, Slovenia was the initiator of World Bee Day. It was the idea of Slovenian beekeepers, supported by Slovenian government, and finally, after several years, we succeeded. So we have now World Bee Day, the 20th of May. We can celebrate, or we will celebrate this year for the second time. Of course, we cannot celebrate with dead bees, no? And this is why we think that we should use this World Bee Day. Of course, we celebrate with pleasure, but we would like to use it to further promote the bees and their importance for nature, for man. And I think what is necessary now that we get another success. I think we have to proclaim bees as endangered species in Europe. No? And this I consider also as my personal task.